Screenwriting is hard to do. It takes a lot of tenacity, self-confidence, as well as self-reflection to finish a script. I think we as screenwriters are always looking for tools to help us cut down the hassle, hard work, or just the time investment. Now for me, it takes about 2 months to go from idea to first draft. What if I told you about a tool today that would be a game changer? One that could potentially turn 60 days of work into just 6 hours. Are you interested? Today, I want to talk to you about artificial intelligence, or AI for short, and how this new tool could change the way you put together a screenplay. Now, AI busted onto the scene back in late 2022 in the form of ChatGPT. It was one of the most wanted applications on the internet, believe it or not, at that particular point in time. Now, in a nutshell, ChatGPT is a language algorithm that tries to solve your requests to it by going through the data sets which it's been programmed with and coming up with a logical answer word for word. Now, meaning it looks at each word it writes and finds the next logical one to follow it until it comes with an answer to your question. Now, for many folks, it does in seconds what would take us minutes to hours to do. In a lot of cases, this is a big game changer. Now, at first glance, it sounds like this would spell doom for us script writers. I mean, couldn't we just enter into ChatGPT that we want to create a script and have it figure out that Academy Award-winning script? Well, in fact, when I first got on, I did exactly that. And this first script it came up with was 5 pages long, perfect format, and as dull of a script as I've ever read before. Yeah, it wasn't very good. But I tried again, reinforcing that I wanted 100 pages and gave it more insight into what I was really looking for in terms of a storyline and plot and characters. Success! I got 20 pages. Still great format and just as dull and soulless as the first one. So here's lies the problem with AI scripts for right now. They are soulless. One of the things that AI hasn't figured out yet is how to code human emotions or experiences into its writing. Also, it lacks imagination. Your brain is still the best machine out there to let, as my friend would say, have an idea spark an idea. They can't do that in AI just yet. It's not good at riffing as humans are. Now, the big caveat, though, to all these points is that this is a first generation or early generation AI. And who knows what's going to happen in the next 10 years. This could be a totally moot point even next year. You never know. So you might be asking yourself, then why would I use this tool? It doesn't sound like that miracle solution I was hyping up at the beginning of this video. Actually, it is. Have you ever worn flippers before when you swam? What do you notice? That when you kick your legs, you move faster through the water, right? The AI works the same way with your imagination. As a tool, it can supercharge our writing and moves us quickly to the finished product. It's important to use this tool in the manner it was designed for. Just as flippers on our hand doesn't help our overall speed, if we don't know the limitations of our AI tool, we won't be able to use it to affect our writing speed. I'd like you to keep in mind 3 things as you write so your progress doesn't slow to a crawl. And those 3 things are accuracy, bias, and garbage in, garbage out. We'll go through each of those in detail here right now. So the first one is accuracy. ChatGPT is not always the most accurate. And let me give you an explanation here from looking at one of my previous videos. So when we talk about ChatGPT not being factually accurate, here's an instance of this happening. So I asked it for my previous video, I was talking about Kitsoneris versus Scryte and which one was the better software. So I asked ChatGPT to tell me what's the main differences between these 2 screenwriting softwares is. And I thought it was interesting. We get to price, and it says there's a difference in price between the 2. Kitsoneris offers a free version with limited features as well as a paid version with additional features for $19.99. That's false. So the only thing you have to pay for in Kitsoneris is if you want to be able to have a cloud storage. But you can access all the features for free. So this is wrong. So I told it, hey, Kitsoneris is free. It says, thank you for letting me know. Yes, you're correct. Kitsoneris does offer a free version with a lot of features and a paid version with additional features. I apologize for the mistake in my previous response. And I said, there is no paid version of Kitsoneris. And so I don't know if it was trying to figure out if it was trying to figure out that computer storage, if that was its cost, but Kitsonaris itself does not cost any money. So you have to you have to check if you're using ChatGPT for factual stuff. Don't use Google, because then at least you can pick up the articles and look through the articles. Don't use ChatGPT to sort of figure stuff out, because you can see from my example, this is an easy example. This is really easy to verify. Kitsonaris is free. It does cost money if you want to do cloud storage, but that doesn't change the cost of the program itself. Kitsonaris is still free. The second one is bias. Now here's a little clip off Google where the CEO even admits to this, that there is a bias within ChatGPT. Now I noticed this when I asked ChatGPT to give me one of the most iconic movie characters from the last 50 years. His first response was Iron Man, which, funny enough, I had just got done making a YouTube short just the week before on, I thought Iron Man was one of the most iconic figures within movies. I wonder where it got that from. I regenerated that response just to see again if they would give me the same answer, which it did. And regenerating response just means I asked ChatGPT to give me another answer to that same exact question. It took me 10 responses before I got an answer that was different than Iron Man. And then I got Hannibal Lecter. Now, I did this for another 40 responses. And I either got Hannibal Lecter for 13, and then I got Iron Man for another 26. It wasn't until the 41st response that I got a totally different character, and that was Indiana Jones. So interesting enough, there was no female characters in any of these listed characters. There was no Ripley or Sarah Connor. So as you write, you need to keep this in mind, that the ChatGPT has some type of bias. Third is garbage in, garbage out. The vaguer you are when you do your prompt, the more soulless and dull will be your response. Now, the more detailed and thought out prompt you put in, the better the response by ChatGPT. It's important to really consider what you want to write before you start. This last point really leads into thinking about how to supercharge our writing. ChatGPT is an excellent tool for writing when we consider how it helps writers best. So let's start at the beginning of the writing process. Do you have an idea for a scene or character or words of a dialogue but don't know the direction you should go in? ChatGPT is really good at helping to brainstorm. So let's give you an example of that. So let's see how this ChatGPT can supercharge our writing process. So what I asked first was, I was just sort of brainstorming. I was thinking of doing a theme where a story about a man going through time to find his daughter who's been kidnapped for nefarious purposes. And I asked it to, and I told it I was writing a movie, just to give me some ideas. And as you can see, these ideas were generated pretty quickly. And as I looked through all these different things here, I was like, wow, these sounds like some interesting ideas. And then I sort of saw this idea. Your story could touch on the theme of time and the idea that every moment is precious. I said, okay, well, let's riff on that a little bit, because I wanted to see what that would look like. So I asked it to give me 10 story ideas on the theme of the importance of cherishing the time we have with our loved ones and not taking a single moment for granted. Write this in terms of a man going through time to find his kidnapped daughter. And so ChatGPT created 10 story ideas for me on the theme of cherishing the time we have with our loved ones. And as I look through each of these different ones here, I'm trying to remember which one I decided on. But there's a lot of different ideas. And again, the way that I would look at this as a writer is take a look at these ideas. You don't have to use each of these ideas word for word, but what these ideas will do is help spark an idea, and you'll be like, oh, I like this. Or maybe like parts of part 4 and parts of part 5. So I think what I ended up settling with, I think was, here we go, 6. Tries to find his daughter. So I liked 6. And so what I said was, okay, can you write me a 3-act structure for it? And so, boom. Again, it writes this pretty quickly, a 3-act structure, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and it gives you sort of bullet points through. And then what I could do after this is I could take and say, can you expand on what this bullet point looks like? And this only took about 10 minutes. It was really pretty quick. And then you could also say, hey, could you describe the dad in terms of character traits, physical description, age, mentality in the above idea? And it'll flesh this out. And I also said, could you also give me a character arc as well too? And it does that as well too. So it gives you and again, you don't have to use each of these things, but it allows your brain to see, okay, here's an idea. What do I like about it? What can I riff off of it? how can I use that to spark the next idea? So I think it does a really wonderful job of helping your imagination to move and get creative and move forward. And then, like I said, I asked it to tell me more about the daughter in the above example. What is she like? And again, you might not like some of this stuff, so don't use it. But it allows you to take a look at what's going on in the story and say, okay, well, I like this. Maybe I don't like that her physical height and build is the same, or maybe she's a teenager, maybe she's a 30-year-old, maybe she's a 50-year-old, maybe she's 70, and this is a really older dad. It could be any number of different things, but this just sort of gets your imagination popping. And so that's what I think ChatGPT has been really good at doing, is allowing us to take our imagination, help prompt our imagination, and help us go through these different iterations a lot more quicker than what we'd be doing normally. I would say it probably took me just 10 minutes alone just to get through the first couple ideas thematically of what I want. And so I was able to do this again within about 10 minutes. Now, as a writer, the next steps is to start to think about what you like or didn't like about this story idea. Maybe you don't like the dad. Maybe he was a real hard ass. Maybe the daughter is just a horrible person. You can go through more iterations faster using ChatGPT to help accelerate your process. So what are you waiting for? Give it a try. See how this can accelerate your work and help you spark idea after idea. Let me know how this helps your writing process. Until the next video, live well and write well.